Hey everyone, it's Mike from Orderflows.com, and here is my Orderflows market analysis for Thursday, February 16, 2017. And it was an interesting day. We opened up, we went low. We opened up, we went lower, and then we rallied, came off again, and we closed up near our highs. I mean, S&Ps were still down marginally, like a couple of points. Dow was up 7, another new record high. So it was quite an interesting day, and some interesting things in the order flow in both the bonds and the E-minis. And, we'll get into that in a second. First, a brief disclaimer. This presentation is for educational and informational purposes only and should not be considered a solicitation to buy or sell a futures contract or make any other type of investment decision. Futures trading contains substantial risk and is not for every investor. An investor could potentially lose all or more than the initial investment. Risk capital is money that can be lost without jeopardizing one's financial security or lifestyle. Only risk capital should be used for trading, and only those with sufficient risk capital should consider trading. Past performance is not necessarily indicative of future results. The tools in this presentation are the Orderflows Trader, which is the footprint chart, the Valtos Flip, the U-turn, and the Transition. So let's jump in. I'll start with the E-mini 3-range chart here. Let me pull it up real quick. Got a bit of a cold coming, I think. At least I got a stuffed up nose. So here, this is the E-mini. This is the 3-range chart, and around, cash open at 8:30. We're trading at that time around 48.5, 49, in that area, and then, we're sort of going sideways. Then we get this big push lower. You can start seeing it pick up in here. When we're going sideways, you got, buying imbalances, selling imbalances, 700 selling, 719 buying, 885 buying, 474, selling, buying. And then if you, right here, you start noticing selling only, selling only, selling only, selling only, and we're starting to move down. Okay, what's going on? You watch the delta, 1800 now, 1200, 1800, 2000. We're coming into this low. Look at this volume here, 3500. 2300, and look at the time. It's happening very fast. It's just very strong selling going on into this low. When you're coming into the lows, how can you tell if you're going to make new lows? Well, if you're coming in there very aggressively, meaning everyone's just piling in, hitting the bids, and you got imbalances, chances are you're going to go lower, and you do over the next couple minutes here. You see, look at this delta, minus 4,000 here. You got imbalances here. You got some buying. Some volume went through here actually at 44 and a quarter. 5,000 on the bid, 5,000 on the offer. But still, we powered through that, making these lows. Boom, boom, boom. You get down here, you have a divergence, positive delta of 1,000. You have a ratio bounds low. Although this, the numbers here are kind of small. If you're doing a ratio bounds low, you'd want to see higher numbers. And then you start moving away. You got ratio, blue number, blue number, blue number. And, that's what you like to see, right? You got a divergence with the ratio. So you're seeing, hey, at this time, I remember looking at it thinking, hey, maybe we can start to, maybe this is going to be our low for the day. This is kind of a weak ratio bounds low. I hate to call this stopping volumes but the numbers involved are kind of small. But, it's a ratio, so it deals with the mathematics of the numbers. And what happens is, you got 4 ratios in a row, then comes right back down. You got selling, you got a selling balance of 1,300, but it's in a spot that you'd expect it to be. On a down candle, you expect it to be here, just like you got here and here, just like on green candles up, you got it in this spot, this spot, this spot. And you start coming down, and you got a selling imbalance here, stack selling imbalance. You got negative deltas, 1,100, 1,500. At this time, this market it's rocking and rolling. It's putting a lot of volume through. And, normally to me, this is very bullish right here, honestly. You got 3 ratios in a row. You got a divergence. And, I'd be looking for a pullback in this bar. It happened here. So, where normally what I'd be looking to enter in is somewhere between this bar, this point of control, and this third bar, and this point of control here. So, around the 44 and a half area, somewhere in there. But then the problem is you get down in here and you got this very negative thing here. You got this selling imbalance, which is not what you want to be seeing, if you're getting along. So you got a bid in here. You got a bid in here. Your stop's just going to be below this low. And, so that's going to give you about a point stop, point and a couple, tick or two. So maybe about 6 ticks. But you'd be looking for that. If this is going to be your low, you're looking for a big move up. So are you willing to risk 6 ticks for 5 points? And then what happens is you just go sideways in this imbalance, test the low here. Honestly, if I in this position, I'd be just looking to get out after this imbalance. We don't get stopped out, but it's just hanging around in there. I don't want to be sitting here hoping that the market's going to go back up. It should have made that move already. It should have pulled back in here and then made that move. Instead, we're pulling back in here, through there, through your area that you're looking to get long in here, and you just go sideways. It really loses its effectiveness. You got this selling imbalance, stack selling imbalance, and you just trade in it over the next 4 bars, 5 bars. Then you start pulling up a little bit, but then it's just going sideways. You got this, again, you're getting some very good volumes in here, and the market's not going anywhere. And we do make another low, so if you stayed in that trade, looking for a move off this low, you would have been stopped out because we made a new low here. You should have been stopped out. And then again, you're getting something that's kind of bullish here. You got some nice volume, 2,300, 4,000. You've got a ratio here, 28, and another ratio here, 0.31. You got a ratio bounds high, ratio bounds low. Point of control at the bottom. I'd be looking maybe for, if at this point, the way this market's moving, it's moving pretty good, a very decent volume. Sometimes it moves pretty fast. Here's 920, 920, 921. So you're basically trading the 3-range chart. It's almost like you're trading in minute bars or 30-second bars in some cases, and it's moving kind of fast. But nevertheless, normally I would see something like this. I would like to have a divergence, if I'm buying off the low with a ratio. But this is bullish. This is bullish. I see these numbers here. I'd probably be looking to take a chance on it, and it just goes sideways over the next 5 minutes. It does turn around, start going up. About 15 minutes later, this is at 920. By the time you start, putting in a little bit of a rally, it's already 940. So it's around, or 934. So you're already coming into about 20 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes at this point, and that's not a good sign. I said you're trading the way the market's moving back at this time, right? 919, 920, 920, 921. Said it's moving very fast, and then it just slows down here, and then then you'll see it's not until here that it really starts making the move. So and then what does it do? It just goes sideways. Then we start coming into the low again. Got another stacked imbalance here. Then you get a bullish ratio, which is not what you want to be seeing right after this imbalance, stacked imbalance. And then this is nice to get, a bearish ratio, and then another bearish ratio. But by this time, I don't like fighting in here. I don't like it where it's in the 3rd bar. Normally, I don't like it when it's in the 3rd bar like this. But the one nice thing it's got going for it is it's got a ratio here, a ratio bounds low, ratio bounds low. So it's indicating some price rejection up and up around this 44.5, 45 and above area. And we do come into the lows, selling imbalance right there, another selling imbalance at that low. Selling is strong. I mean, look at these deltas going into those lows, 2,400, above it, 1,000, 2,800. And we just keep powering down into lows, more selling imbalances, boom, boom, 1,900, 1,600, 2,400. This time we got a divergence here at this low. Nice positive delta, 2,000, no ratio though. And it just comes right back. You get a little bit of a bounce. Okay, so, here when we're running into these lows, we don't have divergences, which you can take it either way. Is it a sign that we're going to keep going lower or not? It's hard to say. But I would have been nicer to see 1 or 2 divergences, in addition to this one here before we're going lower. But you're seeing. This is how you want to see these lows, very strong negative deltas. Here it's max delta 0, here max delta 0. There's a lot of zeros in the max delta, meaning there's no positive. The bar was never with positive delta. Then we start moving off this low. Okay, like I said, no divergence this time. But you got 1,000 positive here, 600, 1,500. When you're looking for the market to move off of a low, you want to see nice positive deltas, building up. It's 1,000 is nice, 600, that's good. I'd prefer a higher number. 1,500 is good, 1,800. So this right here, this looks good. That hey, we could possibly be moving off. and then it just comes right back down. It's unfortunate, ratio bounds high, ratio bounds high, ratio. Especially here, you couldn't string more than 2 together here. You had some nice positive deltas, but then it just gets up to this bar where it just flattens out, 262. Then here it's minus 1,000. I don't like that it just sort of flattens out. If this number was higher, that might be another story. If this bar was green, that might be another story. Minus 1,000 right at this sort of swing high, with the ratio, then the ratio afterward, again with a nice strong delta. As you're going up, even though this is 1,800 positive delta, which is stronger than the previous bar, 1,500, 1,800, and then it gets small, 200, and then it's negative. And it'll make it negative 1,000. And again, it's negative 1,000. So, if I had gotten along in here, I wouldn't, because I'll be looking at this. I like that you're building up some positive deltas, but there's nothing else besides that. To really tell you to get long. You start coming down in here, again, you're thinking, okay, maybe we're going to come into those lows, right? You got 1,000, 900, 1,500, 3,000, and you get this one bar right here, point of control right at the bottom. Now I often say, when you get the point of control right at the bottom, that's decent, pick up a decent sign of some stopping volume. But on a day like today, you're just getting some huge volume going through at each prices, so 1,000, yeah, it's decent. I don't know if it's going to be enough to stop this move. If we trade back down to it, I want to see what it looks like. Then we start working our way back down. You got a selling imbalance this time, so there wasn't much left there. Get through it, another selling imbalance, another selling imbalance. At this point, I'm thinking, hey, we're going to go lower, and we do, not by much. Go a tick lower and then another tick lower. Just sort of tick lower here. Now this is where it starts to get a little bit interesting. Here you got a ratio bounds low, 0.3, very nice volume down here, 2,500. Whereas before, when you're seeing these lows, 1,500 is good, 77, not much. Even this point of control at the bottom with this ratio bounds low is 1,000. Earlier we had a ratio bounds low back here. What was it? Oh, that's a different one. This one, but the volume numbers involved, it's 54, 124, 592, whereas, we're coming into this low times those on 10, it's 2,500, so that's decent, that's a decent number. Then you get, divergence as well, which is nice. In the next bar, you got another ratio bounds low, although, it's 0.26, this one's 0.3. These numbers, it's closer to 0, but these numbers are a bit smaller, so, it's nice to get, but then I don't like that you run into this ratio bounds low here, then another bullish ratio. So you get, bullish ratio, bearish ratio, bullish ratio, bearish ratio. If I'm looking at it like this, to me that's a sign that, hey, I don't know what's going to be in the next bar, but I have a feeling if we start alternating this stuff, this market's going to go sideways, and it does. It goes, down, up bar, down bar, up bar. Then we start moving away from these lows here. Okay. You get to this one. This is the delta scalper given a sell. Look at that volume in there, 5,000, right? So people, 5,794. People were buying 5,000 lots at that price. And normally, you're thinking, shit, that's a heavy volume there. We're gonna come off. But if you don't, you got to ask yourself, well, what do you know? Well, you got a strong buyer there, someone to support the market. So which ways, what are we going to do? We're going to stay above it or we're going to stay below it. In this case, we just sort of hang around it over the next, what time was that? 10:25, 10:26. Over the next basically half hour. It's sort of trading around back and forth. You get up to the swing high here, start coming off, nothing major. Even in this area, we're still, this area, where was it there? That's 41 and a quarter. I think it was 41 and a half, 41 and a quarter. We're sort of trading up or down through it, more or less trading around there, for a while. And it's not until a bit later, where was it here? Even, now, again, this is already, 1 o'clock. We're still in that area, and then we're still putting in some decent volume, 2,300, 1,900, 2800, you know, and we're still going back and forth. So we make another, you know, I'll say push lower, but, you know, we get below that level, sort of hang around there. Then, you know, this is just before 2 o'clock when things really start, you know, picking up. And, you know, this is the delta surge, right? I've got these indicators. You know, delta surge you can download for free, okay? If you download it for free, just restart your NinjaTrader after you do. Don't send me an email saying, hey, it doesn't work. You know, it works on data that as it comes in, but you have to, after you install it, restart NinjaTrader so it can read the data coming in. It doesn't work on past data. You want to do it on past data, go into Market Replay. But anyway, I just say that because, you know, people don't read the instructions that come with it. That says, first line I put on there now is, please restart NinjaTrader. Second line is, it doesn't work on historical data because it needs to read the bid offer data as it's coming in. And, you know, this is your clue here. You know, you're sort of going back and forth, and all of a sudden it picks up these signs in the delta. You know, before, you know, look at these deltas. You know, you get a couple positive, couple negative, couple positive. Now you're starting to see a delta pattern here, which is telling you, you know, buying is picking up. You know, selling is possibly stopped and buying is picked up. You know, and be alert to catch it. You know, so, you know, this is 21. This is that same area, right? 23.41 and a quarter, 21.341 and a half. Let's just draw a line there. Here, okay, all right. I mean, you'd be getting along somewhere in this bar ideally, so you'd be looking around 42, 41 and a half. I ain't gonna get along at 41 and a half, but, you know, 42, 41 and 3/4. Again, this is that area earlier, right here, right? Remember that volume, that support there? So, again, I'm not saying that this buying is coming back. I don't know. You know, that was, what time when did that happen? That was at, where is it? Here it is, 10:26, you know, and then now it's like 2 o'clock, you know, just before 2, right here. You know, that's telling you that, hey, you know, buying is starting to dominate this time. You know, before it was going back and forth. It would go up and go down. Buying and selling was kind of mixed. You know, that's what the market does. This area around this 41, 41 and a half, 40 and a half area, that was an area of fair price, you know, where people were happy to buy around that price. You know, people were happy to try and sell a little bit above it, try and buy a little bit below it, you know, trade around that area. And, you know, now it's telling you that, hey, you know, we can start to move away from this area. You know, buying is taking over, selling is not as strong. And, you know, we couldn't start to make a move. And then you do. You know, you got another big imbalance in here, selling imbalance. So now, you know, this is a couple ticks higher. You're seeing some, you know, some active bidding here, 5,000, 2,000, 3,000, 2,700. Even in this area here, 3,000, 1,500. And then, you know, so if you're looking to be getting along somewhere in here, so call it 42, you know, and just be patient. You know, you get up to the cash close. You know, up here, the cash close is in here, 46, you know, so you're talking 4 points. You know, then, you know, it takes it to the end of the day, basically. So, you know, that was the nice clear sign, you know, for you if you're watching the S&Ps. Okay, so the bond market this morning, you know, this is coming into the morning. It was overnight. It was very tight. You know, about 150.03, 02, up to about 150.16. So pretty tight range. You know, overnight. And you get into the 8 o'clock. We make new lows here. You know, nothing special in these lows. You know, we got a divergence there. You know, I can't really read much into it here. You got a ratio. You know, so you got a divergence with the ratio. But again, you know, it's very tight range. You know, I mean, you got your low here. You made a new low at what is that, 31, I believe. Your high is still 50.15. So it's basically, you know, 16 tick range. You're buying it going right back into the middle of the range. You know, could you have done it? Yeah. Would I do that? Probably not. You know, I'd be looking for more of a sideways action. But you know what? If you did, good on you. You know, we did start trading right up into the highs. Started making new highs. Here you have a divergence. No ratio afterwards in this bar. Instead, it just turns right back on you and keeps going higher. get higher here. Here's 3 in a row. 1, 2, 3. And this is a setup that I talk about in the course. And this one, this is what it looks like, textbook example almost. Ratio. It doesn't, this ratio bound's low, ratio bound's high, ratio bound's high. As long as it's 3 blue numbers, it doesn't. I don't give a. I don't care if it's, ratio bound's low, high, or ratio bound's high. As long as it's 3 blue ratios, that's all I'm concerned about. Then you get the 4th bar here. You get a pullback, a down candle, and you're looking for an entry somewhere in between this point of control, ideally, and this point of control, and it gives it to you right here. It pulls literally, that's where it pulls down to, in between these 2 points of controls. And so that's where you'd be looking to buy, and your stop would be below here. And then we go higher. We take out the high. I don't say we go higher. I mean, we take out the high by another tick. And then, this is where it gets interesting. And then you get a negative, you get some selling information up here. So at this high is the high of the day. And you have a divergence. You have a ratio bounds low. Even in the next bar, you've got a ratio bounds high. So you got another ratio right here. Whoops. So you got, blue number. You got the divergence. You should be looking to get short off this bar. You don't necessarily need to wait here. You pull right up to this point of control, which is where you'd be looking to get short. Your stop would just be right up here. And then you make a nice move down from, the 03 area down to, the 28s. Get a little bit of a pullback. And then you get another bearish ratio here. A ratio bounds low, telling you, hey, you know what? There's some volume up here stopping any moves higher. And then you continue lower. I mean, honestly, if I was in this trade, I wasn't. This is where you'd be looking to get short, somewhere in here around this point of control. Me, personally, I probably would have taken it down this, the 28. Usually the bonds, I don't now try to stay too long in the bonds, especially now, there's a lot of volatility in these markets. Me, I'm more of a hit and run short-term guy. But this bar right here is giving you, confidence to stay short, or, I don't want to say get short some more, but this enough here is, if I was in this position and I didn't cover it, I would like to, this is what I like to see here. Even though it's green and it's going up, I like to get a bearish setup here, and then we go lower down to this 21 price rejector gives a buy here. And then we start, on your way back up. And we make some new highs up here. Now you got sort of the same thing going on here. This time, though, you've got a divergence. You don't have a ratio. It's 6, right? 6.2. I want a blue number. And you get one in the next bar. And I often say, even if you don't get it in the bar with the divergence, look to the next bar. If you get it in the next bar, go for it. And this bar here, we trade right back up to that point of control. This point of control is going to be your resistance. And what do? You sell off from there. So there was 2 nice opportunities in the bonds today. They set themselves up well. Very little heat that, the trade didn't really go against you that much. So I'll take a look at some other charts here real quick. All right, this is the, I'm going to go through these indicators. Again, I'm showing, they work on the order flow chart. I'm showing them on the bar charts. So it's a little easier to see, so you don't get caught up in the numbers. But again, it's a 987 tick chart. Why I have a 987 tick chart up is because, somebody a couple of years ago said, hey, you should watch the order flow on a 987 tick chart. It's, it's good to look at. So, okay, honestly, I've never bothered. Usually I look at range charts, but hey, if it works, it works. Who am I to? I'm not the type that's just going to shut everything off. There's people out there that say, "Oh, I have a way of trading, and that's the way you have to trade." No, I'm always open to other ideas. Exchanging ideas. That's how you grow as a trader. You don't grow when you shut everybody else off. So, cash opens. This is 8:30 right in here. Boom. This is the transition setting 3, 100. 400, and you get a nice move here. From this 40 48 area down into the 44s. You get another signal here. Pulls back a little bit, a couple ticks before continuing down. This one failed. Okay. Don't throw stones at me. Say, oh, this one failed. You suck. You're an idiot. You can't do anything right. Come on. I just gave you, you just had a nice winner here, a nice winner there. This one, no, probably would have stopped you out. You run to a little back and forth here. Get a buy, then a sell. Then you get another buy here. This one works out nicely again, from the 42-ish, 43-ish area up until the close, where we closed at 46. So, you could, trading with, a couple points of stop, you could do fine, it's not like every trade you're ever going to have is going to be a winner. You ideally what you want is your winners, bigger than your losers, and keep your losers small. Okay, here's a euro currency. This again is 987 tick chart. 7 o'clock, gives you a little buy here. 7:30, just before 7:15, you get a sell. Up here you get a sell. It probably would have gone against you here, stopped you out up here. And you get another sell signal up in here, and look at it. From its this 106.80 area up in here, down to the 60 area before turning around and coming back up. This is 10 o'clock, 10:10. Over the next 2 hours, basically comes down into the 60s. It's a 20-point move in the euro currency. And you could have got something here. I know people will send me nasty emails. I got short here and it stopped me out up here. I mean, come on. If you're getting short at 7:15, you got to, it's in your money in the favor for an hour. All of a sudden it starts turning on you and you don't take profits. I don't know if you should, consider trading. Part of trading is understanding when the market's turning. People say, well, you indicator didn't tell me to get out here. Part of trading is making these decisions. Everyone likes to make things automated. I'm working with somebody on some automation for these. But at the end of the day, and the guy also that I'm working with on this, he agrees. He also hates automation, but really what we're trying to automate is the order entry to get you in as quickly as possible so you can watch, more markets. Then you could just manage the trade, right? And that's where, that's where a lot of people make their money, is on trade management, not necessarily having the greatest entries in the world or greatest exits. It's the trade managing the position once you're in it. That gets lost a lot of times in trading. People just think, well, I just need the perfect entry and the perfect exit. Well, you could have you're never going to get perfection in trading. You can get good, but you're never going to get perfect. People always, people come to me thinking, Orderflow, hey, I read a lot about Orderflow. I watched a lot of your videos. I watched a lot of competitors' videos. Orderflow is where it's at. It's going to change me as a trader. Well, to change you as a trader, you have to want to change. Sometimes people don't want to change. I find the best people that come in, are the ones that come in and share their ideas. Sometimes I don't necessarily answer. It doesn't mean I'm not reading your ideas, but there's I got a Facebook page. I got this YouTube channel. I got my blog. I put a lot of my ideas out there, and part of the reason I do that is get you guys thinking on stuff. Don't think you're going to come in and trade exactly like me. I don't expect people to. I spent 20 years trading at a certain level and in a certain way, and I've met a lot of people along the way, and it's developed my own style of trading. When people come to me asking me to help them trade, really what I want to do is get them also to think and get the things from me that is going to help them trade. Like I said, I don't expect you to know everything that I know. That would be ridiculous. But if in our conversations you could pick things up about trading, then great. not everything is going to resonate with you. I can't make you sell in a position in a time when you're looking to buy. It's I joke about it when I was going through it. I was teaching my wife how to drive. I'll be like, okay, she's trying to reverse park. I'd be telling her, turn the wheel left. When she's turning the wheel right, and we're getting a big argument. And finally, I said, okay, you do what you got to do. What you got to do. I can't force you. I can't put a gun to your head and tell you to turn the wheel. If you have to turn the wheel in a certain direction first, I guess you got to do that. I can't change that, even though it's wrong. But we all have bad habits. So anyway, I digress already, but let me take a look at one or two other charts here real quick. Okay, real quick. This is the flip. This is a 10 range chart setting the 5 and 25. Nothing's, nothing. It probably would have, if you got into this trade, probably would have just stopped you out. Maybe you could have managed it a little bit, gotten out. I think I would have taken the full loss. It did go up then, sold off, but that was the only signal on the 10 range mini Dow chart. All right, this is the euro currency. Yeah, this is a 1 minute chart. And there's times when in the euro currency on a 1 minute chart, honestly, this transition, it worked brilliantly. There's times where it struggles. And this morning, again, I'm not really interested around 6. After 7 really is when I'm interested. I'm still in my sleep mode there at that time, just going through stuff. 8:30, get a sell signal. Didn't work out. I often, lately I've been talking about, if you're unsure of a signal, let the market lead you in, meaning you get a sell signal here, let the market start selling off, over the next 4 or 5 bars, watch it. You don't have to react instantly. It's not like, hey, I got a sell signal, I got to sell. I hear these stories of these guys who are at their trading rooms, and they're just in there, get short, buy here, buy, I'm long, I'm in, I'm out. Okay, like that. I mean, come on. The only time I've seen traders like that is on the trading floor in the pit, during a major economic number, and even that, that's not. I joke when I see these movies on trading, and every time they go on the trading floor, it's complete chaos. It's not like that in real life. I mean, once in a while it does get chaotic, but most of the time it's very orderly trading. So anyway, let the markets, come in and get you in. So, if you're patient, start waiting. Okay, let me see if the market can take me in on this. It didn't. Okay. So you want to take the trade here. This has got this big down bar. Okay, is it going to continue? Let's see. Over the next couple of bars, it just sort of hangs around there. Then boom, here you get the nice big down bar telling you, hey, it's going to continue. You get this nice move down. This one had happened a little bit quicker. Started getting some negative signs there. Some selling coming in here. This one did go up, but then I think it would just stopped you out in there, unfortunately. Earlier this week, after 10 o'clock, it just went sideways. At least here you got a little bit, I'll say a little bit of activity, but 60 up to 85. This one, it kind of worked out. This one, I don't think that's not enough for me for a move. And after 2, I'm not looking to trade the euro currency. Okay, this is the last chart here for today. This is the mini Dow, the 100 tick chart. This is a chart that I like looking at. Again, mini Dow, I should be trading it after the cash open. You got a couple signals here, 7 just before 8 o'clock. This one is right boom on the cash open. You get a lot of volume coming in on the cash open. I don't, I like to let it wait. I like to let it settle down. You can see here, 8:30, 8:31, 8:32. It's still trading in there. The signal failed. This one didn't work. This one didn't work. I was thinking, shit, it's a lousy day. Got the big down candle. Then, at least there was a ray of hope here. This one worked out quite nicely. From this 585, 590 area, all the way up to 610, before just sort of going sideways and working its way back down again. The sell worked its way down. It's a nice trending down. If you're trailing your stop, you're not getting out up here. You should be getting out up over here. So you could at least had something out of that trade. Again, I'm not saying you would hold it, let it come all the way back up here and then go back down. No, you should be trailing your stop and getting out somewhere down here rather than up here. And I'm not saying you'd take it, hold it all the way back against you. I mean, some people do, should, not, whatever. That's not prudent money management, but, I can't say anything about that. This one, it started to come off, then it reversed on you pretty quick. These, came down a bit here before turning up. This one straight up. The time over here, 11. This one's worked out. Again, it came off pretty sharp, and then started to rally. Each of these days, with this market, it's, today was we spent a lot of time negative territory. I felt like, as opposed to positive territory. This one, worked out a little bit before turning around on you. This one started going down, then you got a buy here, which didn't work out. Now we're coming in the 2 o'clock area. And if you remember, it was just straight up. If you remember the S&Ps, from basically from 2 o'clock. Well, actually, the S&Ps was from 1 o'clock. But, here you're getting a buy around just after 2. And, I don't know what you want to call that, 580. All the way up, to the 595 where you get a sell. But that's right ahead of the cash close, and then the cash closes. So, anyway, you've seen the flip, the U-turn, the transition, and the Orderflows trader. I mean, the Orderflows trader is the main software, which, if you can learn how to read that, really put you ahead of a lot of the other traders out there. So thanks for watching this. To learn more about the trading software used in this presentation and how you can profit with it from Orderflow, visit my website, www.orderflows.com, and be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. So thank you, and hope to see you on the inside.